they always pushed me. They wanted me to do good. They knew everything I had been through. You know, it was a tough road for me. So he like, man, cuz it's time you need to get your own business, man, and just go after it yourself. You good enough. She ended up taking me to court about it too. So that was like a big wake up call. You know, immediately like, okay, this game is different and real. So just for me and my field of work is just like, it just does something to my heart. Like every time I post it, because I get so many compliments and just people, you know, telling me, oh, my friend once this did, or they tag somebody. Like it's
Welcome back to the Let's Evolve for Tomorrow podcast. I'm your host, Tyrone, and we help aspiring, new, and existing entrepreneurs excel to the next level by inviting other aspiring, new, and existing entrepreneurs to the podcast to give knowledge and information on how to get to the next level. Today we have another special guest, Gary Walker with GW Pro Painting. This guy has been in business for 4 years. He's done an amazing job growing his business. He has a total of 19 years of experience, 15 years under an apprentice, doing work for them for 15 years, branched off on his own 4 years ago. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, 4 years ago. And he's averaging about 40 clients a year so far, looking to grow his business over the next couple of years. He does a great residential work and commercial work as well. There's a lot of other highlights, but I don't want to steal his thunder, steal his shine. Gary, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Man, I'm great. I appreciate you for accepting the invite.
Oh, yeah.
Hopping on the podcast. You know, it's really an opportunity, man, to really talk about how you got started, you know, humble beginnings, talk about how you can grow from there, you know, how you grew throughout the last 4 years, what the next plans are, how you balance your life, all of that stuff, man.
Okay.
So I have to ask, how did you in 4 years grow your business to averaging 40 clients a year?
Well, the number one thing, I do amazing work.
Okay.
I always get compliments on my work.
Okay.
I make sure everything's cleaned up when I'm done, and a lot of times to where I show my difference than other painters, I got a steady hand, so I don't use tape, and that's very impressing to my clients, and that kind of make them tell other people, yeah, he good and he fast and he don't need no tape, so and he don't have no drips nowhere. He put everything down. He clean his mess up. He gonna get in and out. So I think you should deal with him. So it's a lot of word of mouth been like that, where I get a lot of residential clients.
Okay.
So,
All right, cool. So most of your business has been built on word of mouth.
yeah.
Okay.
Most of it.
Nice. So let's talk about what inspired you to even get into painting. I mean, 19 years, man, that's a long time.
Yeah. Well, I was having a rough lifestyle.
Okay.
That was going on for me. I wasn't too much of a good kid, but I always had a good heart. So, but I just wasn't doing good things, and I wanted to grow up, and it was just something about painting. Like, soon as I touched the paintbrush and I could reach most of the ceilings, the 8 foot like in here, you know, a lot of people need ladders or, you know, buckets they stand on and stuff, and I can kind of just walk through it, and it start making it seem easy, and I was like, man, I can make money like this too. So as long as I do a good job and people like it, it's like painting a picture, and I'm like, it is painting a picture. So
Right. So did you just like go to Lowe's and get a paintbrush and a bucket of paint and start knocking on doors, or?
Nah, I had my older cousin. He had introduced me to it and took me out to his. He was working for like a construction site for MI Homes.
Okay.
So he was the guy that he was working through. They was subcontracting work.
Yeah.
And I came basically to help my cousin, because he was subcontracting my cousin the jobs, like to paint a whole house. And he was like, I'm gonna teach you. You gotta have patience though. But if you can't get it,
Right.
you gonna have to go.
Right.
Like, and I was like, all right. And I didn't want to work a warehouse job like at that time either, because that's all it seemed like was available.
Right.
Was warehouse jobs. I had did something like UPS or something, and they was like overworking me, and I was like, I can't do this the rest of my life, you know. So once I stayed with him all week and kept working, and I was just finding myself getting better every day, like far as cutting, rolling, and I just really was interested in doing it. So, and I just been stuck with it ever since, and I still learn stuff now every day. So,
Gotcha. So, so you say you had a challenging childhood. So would you say painting was like your therapy?
yeah, because I wasn't having a peaceful lifestyle
Okay.
that I was living. Like, so yeah, it was definitely my therapy. Could turn the music on and nobody bothering me, and I could just paint away. So,
Gotcha. Okay, so you're under your cousin for 15 years, right? Why did you decide to branch off on your own instead of just sticking with your cousin?
well, because I worked with him, my cousin, for about 5 years. We would subcontract work like that. Then he branched off and started doing flooring. So I still stuck with it, with who was subcontracting us to work. He was started giving me houses to do on my own. And it, like, pandemic had end up hitting and everything start slowing down, and it would get like wintertime is always the roughest time. So when I was working for him, he would always try to push me to tell me like, yeah, get you a van one day. You know, you're gonna have to get you a paint sprayer because you're gonna be spraying, trimming doors. Just try to get he taught me all the ropes. After my cousin showed me with a brush and roller, he taught me the ropes of everything painting, you know.
Gotcha.
So it was like, I love the journey, man. I do.
Okay, so he taught you all of the skills and the technical skills and everything you needed to paint. He was like, hey, basically he gave you a start, told you need to get this equipment, you need to get a van, and get out there on your own. So,
and I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I wasn't listening to him
then
because I was younger, but now that I don't got older, everything it's just like,
Okay.
I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it, man. This is about you telling your journey.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you feel like you want to express, man, just put it out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what did that first step look like? So how did you transition from, if you go back 4 years ago, right? How did you transition from, all right, cousin so-and-so, it's my last job with you because I'm going to start picking up on my own?
So before, like, I'm gonna step even further back into that. Like, we'd say probably 12 years ago.
Okay.
You know, I was at that moment. I was going to work, and I had a car that was painted with rims, and you know, it was like kind of an eye catcher.
Okay.
It was a Caprice Classic, and a lot of people liked it.
What year?
It was a 91.
Okay.
It was the bubble kind.
Okay.
And I would drive it to work with rims and stuff on it, and they would be like, just looking like, okay, we know you coming to work, but this doesn't look like you fit out here. So I eventually, and I wanted to impress them because they knew the lifestyle that I had came from too.
Right. So you pulling up on 20s.
22s, yeah, they was 22s. I was pulling up to work in that, getting out, and you know, it's a bunch of construction guys out there looking, and they like, nice car, but coming to work in it? Like, so, but that was the only vehicle I had at the time. So,
right.
I went from that, and then I got me a truck, and I had a few problems with the truck, but it was getting me by, and I would get ladders and stuff, and I was able to help the company by picking up paint in the morning and, stuff like that. But he still stressed it to me, always get a van. It's more, you can load more in it. And I didn't want to hear it, but he made sense. So, yeah.
Okay. So you got the truck.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pickup truck, right?
Yep, pickup truck.
All right. So how did you transition from there? Did you keep the pickup truck until you transitioned it on your own, or?
I kept it, and I think it had went down. Something had went wrong with it, but I couldn't really get big ladders on it because they don't have, I would have had to get the racks put on it, and I didn't want to do all that. So I was I listened to him, and I got the van, and I was like, dang, this is what he was saying years ago. Mm-hmm. And I see why he had his van and was, so it just helped me. But with me getting the van working, it's not a job I can't complete, basically. Right. So, yeah.
Okay, so did you get the van before you went out on your own or after?
After I went out. Yep.
Okay, so
that's what made it. So
you're at the 15th year. What did that transition look like? Did you go to him and say, I think I'm ready? Or did he kind of push you out there?
He pushed me out there.
Okay.
Yeah, he pushed me to do it. That's what they always pushed me. They wanted me to do good. They knew everything I had been through. Mm-hmm. It was a tough road for me. So, but being in the painting field, I'm grateful to people that I learned from and came up with, because that's what got my neatness as far as my drop cloths and what to wipe off, take outlets off. They taught me a lot, because I couldn't just jump out on my own as a business and just paint.
Right. Because there was more to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask, because I noticed you keep saying it was a rough road.
Mm-hmm.
What was rough about it?
What, before, as far as the painting?
Yeah, if you're working with your cousin, he's teaching you the ropes, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, okay, I guess there were some rough patches through those 15 years. Mm-hmm. So what made it rough?
Well, when work would get slow, I'll go and work for another company. Mm-hmm. And I always got a lot of jealousy. Mm. And I couldn't understand it, because I'm a good person, and who wouldn't want somebody to come that's going to come to work, and work hard and work good.
Yeah. And
I would get that. And a lot of it I felt was because of my height, and some people can't hold a brush as steady. And cut the trim, paint this trim and not get nothing on this,
right? Without
taping it or nothing, and it just causes jealousy, and I don't like that. Mm-hmm. But that's just how the world is.
So jealousy from the people you were working with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would get, I work for a place where they got all these apartments, mm-hmm. and they would have 3 guys in one apartment, and I'm just in one. They do that at Ohio State too, but they was doing it, and it'd be 10 units, mm-hmm. that they want painted. Mm-hmm. I'll paint 3 of them in a day, and it's they'd be okay, don't come tomorrow, we ain't got nothing. They would cut me off, right. or the next week they'd make my list shorter. Mm-hmm. So it was just
because you were showing up their guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I get a lot of, and I don't. It's just how I paint. Once I put the music, the headphones on or something, I just go.
Right.
And I don't have nobody to talk to or nothing. I want to work and get it done. Mm-hmm. And some people don't like that.
Gotcha. So those are some of the bumps that you kind of went throughout the 15 years. But I'm really interested in what did that conversation sound like when your cousin said it's time for you to do your own thing? Like, were you painting one day, going out to the van, and he was like, "Look, it's time for you to do your own thing. You're good. It's time for us to split ways."
Yeah. By you saying that, I was painting in my home
Okay.
with him, an exterior. We was painting the outside, and I had a long pole and a small whiz roller, and I was painting the high part of the trim
Mm-hmm.
and made it look good. And he had told me, like, man, cuz it's time you need to get your own business, man, and just go after it yourself. You good enough. And I was like, man, I said about the homeowners, he said, don't be scared. Do not be scared. You can do it. Go after it. Get certified. Do everything you got to do. And take off. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm still in that lane. That still sits in my head. That's crazy that you brought that up.
Okay. So two things with that. First of all, I didn't know you had to get certified. Like
Well,
certified.
he was saying, like, far as certified, like, far as just talking, basically.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah.
Okay. So build your brand, build a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why were you so fearful to talk to customers?
I wasn't really fearful. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to bid these places where people will be like, is my price too high? Or, that's the main thing. You don't want, because I know I'm good too and quick, and I'm like, I don't want nobody to be like, man, this dude just charged me $400 and it took him 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because people tend to get jealous of that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I just reached out there. He told me, like, don't care about what they think. Just do your job, man. And whatever you feel it's worth. That's how I started off. Wasn't doing square footage or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was whatever I felt it was worth. And I would always say a prayer before I do the job. Like, because I don't want people to be like, man, and a lot of people try it.
Mm-hmm.
They do. And especially even if somebody think they're going to get something for nothing, they really try it. Like,
So would you say that you underpriced yourself when you first started?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Big time.
Okay. So
Damn.
back then, just curious, what were you charging?
Say for a bathroom, I would tell them, like, yeah, I could do it for like $40. And they'd be like, oh, okay. And I would really do it and paint it nice. And I'm like, man, I ain't make nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that. I thought just because that took me an hour, like, but that's not how it go.
Mm-hmm.
And
especially all the work you put into it.
Yeah, because I'm bringing in my paint tools. I got to put everything down. My drop cloths, I got to make sure I got my rags where if I got any sprinkles or anything, I'm clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm neat. I ain't leaving no mess. So that's time. It's a lot of steps. Then all my tools, I have to wash them afterwards. So it was like, why did I charge that cheap? But,
Right. So, okay, 4 years in,
mm-hmm.
what's some of the key challenges you experienced? Like some of those challenges and we'll just go to the beginning. Like in the beginning, what were those challenges you faced when your cousin was like, all right, it's time to get out there, and you got your first 2 clients? Like, what was that experience like? That was, I don't know, I guess you looked at it as like a negative experience, and how would you overcome that?
Well, I had made a mistake with one of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I am not afraid to admit it. I spilled some paint.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kicked it over on an accident, and I had all my drop cloths and stuff down, but it fell not in that area. It fell further over.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, I try to get a carpet cleaner guy to come and, get the paint up out of the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't work. That made it worse. That made the situation worse because it, from him cleaning the carpet, it leaked down to the basement and onto her mattress.
Yeah.
The paint, and it was paint still in the carpet. So I'm like, man, and I had to end up replacing the carpet and paying for everything. But she ended up taking me to court about it too. So that was like a big wake up call. Immediately like, okay, this game is different and real. So, and I like kind of, that was one of my, I ain't gonna say mistakes because it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was one of my faults.
Wow.
But,
So what did you learn from that experience?
pay attention more because that always rings my head now. Like any job I'm at, like, okay, that paint, you can't knock that paint over. Like just off of that one job,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us a success story. So like been in business 4 years, I'm sure there's that one story that sticks out in your mind, like where you have like that proud moment where it's like, man, this is why I started painting. This is why I love what I do.
Okay. The main reason why I love what I do is because any job I get, I like to show it on social media so that they can see that I'm doing that, and I want them to see the drastic change immediately. I got fans to where I got it blowing on the walls to let the paint dry quicker, and a lot of painters don't do that. But that's my way of making money quicker. So, and they be really amazed off seeing my work, and it just, social media just for me and my field of work is just like, it just does something to my heart. Like every time I post it, because I get so many compliments and just people, telling me, oh, my friend once this did, or they tag somebody. Like it's just, yeah. So I think social media with my work is just really changed my life for
Okay.
me. Yeah.
So how did you do you market your business any other way besides social media?
Uh, Not much, but I'm going to start.
Okay.
That's my plan now, to try to market better. That's because I want to do more. I want to work more, get more work. So that's my main plan
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
So there's a lot of times, man, I drive down the street and I see a lot of vans with their paint logos, ladders, and all of that. What separates GD Pro Painting from all of these other companies out here?
Well, it's going to get done neat, quick, and professional. I work all hours. So if I can get in and out, when I get jobs with lock boxes and stuff, I'm liable to work all night, So I'll just show top skill. I'm a little stuck right now.
No. Let me ask you a different question. Since you've been on this journey by yourself, what's been the most challenging thing for you? Like that hurdle that's hard for you to get over. Like, man, okay, I got the skill. I know how to paint. I'm getting the clients. I have the van. I have the equipment. But as entrepreneurs, sometimes it's that one thing that's holding us back from just really taking off. What's that thing for you?
Thing is advertising.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's advertising. Because a lot of strangers don't like to trust, really. unless they see or it's a word of mouth. So yeah, I think it's advertising been the hardest thing for me to get over the hump.
Okay. Gotcha. So what do you think stops you from advertising?
Uh, well, I work a lot, and I gotta get more focus as putting more effort into that
Mm-hmm.
from when I do have off time. Because I will like I can pass. I go to all type of apartment complexes and pass my cards out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But um, yeah, I think that's advertising is my hardest thing that I gotta get better at.
Okay.
You know, and I'm definitely seeing that by being in business for 4 years. So
Gotcha. You have kids?
yes,
Okay. How many kids?
I got 2 kids. I got a 16-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son.
Oh man. Okay.
Man,
Two different ends of the spectrum.
man.
So okay, the the 4-year-old, I'm assuming they don't. A lot of times they don't understand the concept of business.
Hmm.
But your 16-year-old,
Yeah.
being a successful entrepreneur, how do you keep your daughter grounded? Meaning, how do you keep her from feeling entitled? Because she's probably like, "Oh, my dad's he's a boss, he's an entrepreneur, he has money, he's getting all these jobs, he's super successful." How do you keep her grounded?
Well, she kind of like my daughter. She be like kind of humble, so she kind of grounds herself because she like I always took her to school, pick her up. Like when I have a job, I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna leave here to come and get you from school, and then come and But she always respected how I work, so she'd message me if she needs something. She'd be like, Dad, sorry to ask you for this, and I'll be like, Nah, don't. You ain't gotta say sorry. So she always kind of had that mentality, and she don't really push me out there like, oh, Dad is rich, So
That's good. Where do you think she gets that from?
me,
Okay.
nah, she might. I think she get it from her mom too. I ain't gonna leave her out, but yeah.
Okay. So when you say she gets that from you, like what values do you teach her? And I'm asking because, just thinking there's other people out there that are doing something similar. They're running a business, they're working hard, they're trying to balance their life and keep their children humble. But what values do you instill in your daughter to keep her grounded?
I just let her know that she ain't better than nobody, and she, like right now she works herself, so she don't see how much of a struggle it's been for me. Like she can remember when I take her to daycare and I'm going to work in her mom's car, to go paint. So she been seeing me do this and her whole life. So she kind of got a good understanding about it, and she just always tell me like, "Yeah, Dad, I hope it gets better for you," and yeah, she's a big help to me too. Like,
Okay. In what way?
like just for my mental, just talking to her. Like I can talk to her about stuff that's going on, and my daughter like she can pull my spirit up. Like, Dad, well, let's say a prayer, So yeah.
Do you ever have challenging times in your business where you don't have as much work as you want?
Yes, definitely in the winter.
Okay. How do you stay motivated to stick with it and not just say, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of trying to find business. I'm gonna just scrap this and go work for somebody else.
Yeah, I first off I pray, but I try to stay focused, and I don't let it get to me as much. I may try to do a different activity and just keep telling myself it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Don't stress out too much, because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it gets real hard. Like to where Like I won't have work sometimes in the winter for like 3 weeks straight, and I'll be like, man, and to have my kids and just everything's tight, and by me not being at work, I want to take them to do something, and I can't spend that money, and it's like it gets tough. So it's like you got to find stuff to do at home. We bake cookies and
So why not just
work
quit?
it out. Huh?
Why not just quit?
Nah, because I always know it's gonna get better.
Okay.
Because I'm too good.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't consider myself as an average painter. So it's like I know the work is coming, and I'll be like, oh, it's cold. Who gonna call and say, hey, come over here and paint this? In the cold. Like nobody.
Right.
Once the weather break, they're gonna call. So,
Right. So what about in the wintertime, I'm assuming people want the interior painted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Sometimes I get a lot of. I ain't gonna say a lot, but I do get work in the winter, interior jobs.
okay.
And like I said, the retirement homes, it'd be different stuff, different apartments that I get to paint in the winter, but it's not as busy as when it's warm.
Right.
Because it'd be so cold that nobody wants to even go look at jobs or nothing. Like so.
What have you noticed in your industry that you feel would set you apart? And the reason I say that is because I've seen people in the painting industry, right? They'll come over, some of them may, to your point, may leave paint all over the place. But I'm wondering, what is it that you can do to say, you know what, I sat back and I watched 10 companies and I noticed they all do this. I'm going to do this different. This is what's going to make me stand out from them.
I still really ain't figured that out yet because I'm still be kind of eyeballing other companies. So I really can't answer that one yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a different question. So you said during those slow times you pray.
Mm-hmm.
When you pray, what do you pray for and what response do you get?
He always answer me. Like I pray to him first and say, I call him Jehovah. So I tell God, like, hey, Jehovah, I just need you to keep my mental right and don't let me go crazy and let me know that it's going to get better. I ain't going to bug you and ask you for a lot of work. You know exactly what I need. And we done been through this road forever. Like, this ain't new to me. And I'm older now. Like I used to stress out crazy in my younger 20s. Like, man, I ain't got no work. And it just, I knew I should just start doing this and that. And like, just thinking crazy.
Right.
But now, I'm older. So is things change. And he'll show me, like, it'll just be unexpected. Like, it'll be a big job or a call and say, hey, can you come do this estimate? And I look at it and then they say they need this and I want this done too. I want my garage painted. I want, it just be all type of stuff.
Right.
So, and it always happened like that. So that gave me the mental, and I'll be like, okay, it's going to get rough, but whatever I can do to better myself, the best thing that I can do to think of, whether it's drop a business card off somewhere or something. I know I can't work, but I can advertise myself somehow, do it, and that's what I do.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get different advertisement because all I ever known really is the card, drop my card off,
Gotcha.
To everybody. Which I want to do it differently, where if I can get it online, where people seeing it, or so.
Okay. I was about to ask you. Oh, so let's talk about exit strategy, right? So you share with me off camera, how old you are, and of course we start to think about the exit strategy, right? Because we don't want to work the rest of our life, right? So what do you do to plan for your exit, or is this something that you've even thought about?
I haven't really thought about it yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to because I know I'm getting older, and I can feel my body change a little, But I still, in my brain, I'll be like, "Oh, nah, I could do this,"
Exactly.
But it's changing. I don't have the surgery and stuff, and and I know that was from painting. I had like an infected muscle, So, um, I haven't really thought too much upon that yet,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I do need to think about.
No, well, that's good, and I know you may be thinking, well, how's that good if I haven't really thought about it? But it's good because it just goes to show that as entrepreneurs, some of us either haven't thought about it, or if we have thought about it, we don't really know what investment vehicles to use to properly set ourselves up,
Hmm.
for the 20 years from now, or whatever that retirement age is.
Man.
And not just the age, but the number.
Hmm.
Like if we have a set number in mind that we want to retire with at that age,
Yeah.
just really thinking about that stuff. So really it's just about
Man.
stirring up that conversation to get us all thinking about what's our plan,
Hmm.
how do we execute that plan, what vehicles do we use, what's that set number? Because when we sit down with someone, a financial advisor or something like that, these are the questions they're going to ask us.
Hmm.
And if we're putting aside a budget for that purpose, like, okay, we're averaging such and such amount every month, how much of that can we afford to put away in this nest egg and not touch it for the next 20 years?
Yeah.
So then when it's time to sit back,
Hmm.
we know we can draw from that.
Yeah.
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 So just the thought. So let me ask you this. 19 years of experience, 4 years on your own. Do me a favor. Talk to the young Gary out there and tell him, if you had to give him some advice on how to start his painting business, what to do and what not to do, what would you tell him?
Okay. I would tell them, far as what to do, uh, make sure you got your whole setup. Get you a paint bucket that you can pour, a 5-gallon bucket that you can pour your paint in. Get you your brushes that you're comfortable with, whether it's a 2.5-inch brush. I like the 2.5-inch oval sash brush. Um, Make sure you got you a cutting pot, a 5-way, um, a rag. You need a rag every time, like on you, a small wet rag, because you get drips or anything. You can just wipe it up immediately. Um, I would start off with that first, and then make sure you got a 18-inch roller, which is the big roller, because that's how you're going to get the job done. You can use a 9-inch if you want, but usually I tell people start out with the 18.
Okay.
Um, or get a pole. You need a small rolling pole, and that's how you can complete any paint job with that. Then once you grow more, you invest in buying you a sprayer. Now the sprayers is a little pricey, because the one that I got, it costs $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the big strong one where you can spray a whole big house, and that's what I'm actually doing today. I would invest in that, get me a sprayer, and work truck is fine, but I would suggest a work van, because you can get more in a van. And far as paint buckets, you can get anything you want on a truck, but it's just something about the van that, to me, that I would tell the young Gary to
Right.
do. So
Okay. So I also want to take it a different route too. So you talked about having a challenging childhood.
mhm.
What would you suggest that the little Gary do, or even somebody else out there who had a challenging childhood, challenging teenagehood, what would you suggest they do to change their mindset and know that there is a way out and they don't have to stay stuck where they are?
You said, what would I tell them?
Yeah.
Like,
So you go to the 18-year-old Gary,
mm-hmm.
and 18-year-old Gary is the you at 18,
Mm-hmm.
and he's thinking, this is it. This is it for me. There's nothing else.
Yeah. I tell them it's other ways out, you know, because once you really get that job or that craft that you want, you know when it's for you, and God lets you know it's for you, you know, because a lot of people haven't found their craft or what they really like. But once you find it and you see that you can make money in it, it's going to be rough. It's going to get rough and make you want to give up, you know, but you got to really keep fighting and say, this is what I want to do, and I can do it, and I don't care how long it take or what, I'm going to be successful at this. You know, that's just like with me. It's rough. It's still rough right now, but I'm so determined that I know I'm going to get rich off of this because of the hand that I got. You know, so it's like, and it's in the mindset. It's in the brain. I can't even stop thinking and saying, oh, I'm not going to get rich off of it. No, I am. Like, it's just, I'm too determined. You know.
So what happens when he has that peer pressure that keeps pulling him back in? How does he combat that? You know, if it's the lifestyle, if it's the friends that keep pulling him back, like he's getting closer to that craft and that gift that you found, but something keeps pulling him back. How does he mentally prepare to push past that?
The only way, he just got to believe in himself, in the craft. You got to believe in yourself, like, and say, okay, because that was like that with me. Like, when I first started painting, I kept trying to turn back, you know, and do the things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, and it wasn't mixing with it. Like, I would end up in trouble, and that make me missing work, and they like, oh, we don't need you. You doing this stuff, you know. So you gotta like kind of grow your mind up and say, okay, I'm ready to take this road and take the bumps with it, like, you know, the bitter with the sweet with it. I'm gonna stay on this road, and ain't nobody pulling me off of it, you know. So
okay, how do you, being so busy, Gary, how do you separate your business? Like, how do you, I guess, get your personal time in for yourself, you know, to have your mental peace and sanity, time with your wife or your significant other, and time with the kids?
Well, it be rough, you know, at first, because sometimes I could work so late, you know, and then by the time I get home, ain't nothing to do but shower and eat and lay down, you know. So when I try to find balance within it, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get off today around 3:00 because my son, he likes to box. I gotta hit the mitts with him, and I gotta, you know, see how my daughter's day went and see how my girl doing. Like, I gotta blend it all in. So it gets tough because I never know what type of job I'm gonna get, you know. But I balance it. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. Well, I tell you what, if you don't mind, give us some. Well, first of all, how can they contact you? So, if they have any painting needs, interior, exterior, how do they contact you?
Okay, you can contact me at 614-364-5805. That's my cell business number. Or you can contact me on the email at GaryWalkerJr03@gmail.com.
All right. Are you on any social media platforms?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm on Facebook, GW Pro Painting
Cool.
as well.
All right, man. Well, give us some closing words.
I just want to tell y'all thank you for this interview. Appreciate you too, man. And just keep chasing your dreams, because I'm going to keep chasing mine. It's a long road, but don't give up.
Cool. Well, thanks for closing us out, man. So remember, if you have any painting needs, interior, exterior, we're talking about 19 years of experience under some professionals. I'm sure you're familiar with MI Homes, and they're not going to just contract anybody. So working for them, obviously he has the skill. He told you he has a steady hand. If you need some proof, go out to GDW Pro Painting on Facebook. We'll make sure to put all of the information down in the description notes. And we want to thank you for joining the Let's Evolve for Tomorrow podcast, where we help aspiring new and existing entrepreneurs excel to the next level by inviting other aspiring new and existing entrepreneurs to the podcast to give knowledge and information on how to get to the next level. And we'll see you next time.